got it done yesterday in a lot of ways. I was really fired up about as you look at the whole game as it plotted out. We did some really cool stuff. Loved that we ran the ball like that. Loved that we were play passing and doing our thing. And the finish part of it is such a big deal. At halftime now, we challenged them pretty good. We owed it to ourselves. We owed it to the fans, everybody. We're going to play second half like we're capable of doing it. That's why it was so cool that we did it the week before, and then to recapture it at home it's a big step forward. So I'm really fired up about that, and we got a lot of areas to keep working on and improving, and we're growing together.
Pete, you've told us before how much you've learned from Bud Grant and others. I got to be honest. I've learned a term from you, and I use it a lot on my broadcasts, and that is feel. You like to say, man, they didn't feel the rest, or they could feel us, or you could feel the line of scrimmage, or you could feel the 12s. And I get in these different environments. I'll be in Nebraska this week feeling 97,000 people. There's just something about it. And yesterday just felt like a Pete Carroll kind of, you could just feel your guys at the line of scrimmage. And tell me what you felt from the 12s.
Oh, man, what a great day. It was such a it was such a demonstration of what we are and what we've come to love about being here and playing for the fans and the fans following the team and all. It was beautiful. They were so tuned in. Look at the impact they had on the game. There's a portion in there they couldn't even get the ball snapped, and it was because of the crowd. And we talked about it some. Was it because the crowd was wanting to show the old guys that were here, that they're still here and all that, or was it just the game, or what it was? But that's us at our best, and we finished great in that game, and they're a big part of it.
Obviously going to focus a lot on the win in the game yesterday, but just since you mentioned them and seeing the 10th anniversary group out there of the Super Bowl team, what was that like for you? I know heard you earlier in the week say, yeah, you'll focus on it eventually, but you got to prep for the game first. Once you finally did get to focus on them, what was that experience like?
Well, we had enough opportunities to get around the guys. We had a function on Friday night, then it came to Saturday, and then saw them on the sidelines in pregame. It was so clear, the connection that is so deep and so meaningful, and continues to be meaningful in their lives, and the pride that they have taken to being in part of something special like that, it didn't go away. And so we had a great showing. A ton of guys came. Everybody had something to say about it because they could all feel it, and it was just so obvious. And it was really heartwarming and all of that. But it's also a powerful message and illustration of what you can do in settings, whether it happens to be football in our game and all that. People can do stuff like that where they just grow so close together that the relationships are meaningful, and it doesn't matter whether you saw somebody yesterday or 5 years ago, 7 years ago. It's the first time you talk to them, you hug them up, and you're right back again.
Anybody you hadn't seen in a particularly long time that jumped out, you're like, oh man, it was really good to see them, and it had been too long?
Oh, there was all kinds of guys. Yeah, Sweezy, McQuiston, Phil Bates, guys I hadn't seen or heard of much at all. Seen Sweezy a little bit, but it was just, BJ. It was just so many cool guys to run into, and everybody had just the biggest, warmest smile and the hugs and all of that.
Who talks the most in that environment? Who's the loudest?
Well, if you give Doug a chance, he'll be. If you give him a chance, you just got to plug him in, and he's going. I loved being around Doug, and we had a real special, kind of pregame thing too. I was challenging him, who's going to compete more on this day, you or me, and that kind of thing. And so it was just awesome. And the fans are all part of that. And if I think I heard KJ say, didn't he say about the parade and coming back to our fans was the moment that he cherished the most. Me too, and I'm in on that. That never saw a more special moment happen for a bunch of people, and it was really cool.
Pete, in that room next door, after you took Witherspoon with the number 5 pick, you dropped the name Troy Polamalu. And now Polamalu is a safety and Witherspoon's a corner, but you said that just because of the feel and the instincts. When I watch him play, there's a guy from our era, my era, when I was around, that he reminds me of, and that's Dale Carter.
Yeah.
Is that a fit?
Oh, I'm not sure Dale. I don't want to say anything disparaging here, but I don't know that how physical he was. I don't remember that part of it. I know how creative he was and impacting he was. Spoon has a hit in this game. It's as good as a hit as a corner's going to make. And it wasn't like he caught the guy kind of not looking and he went nose to nose. That's just one of the things. But you can see him react, his reactions and his ability to assess the situation and then go for it. showed up, again. And so that's the special feel that I sensed in him. That's why I said something about Troy way back when. And he's just getting going. He's just figuring it out, and he'll get a lot better.
Is that a processing speed? You talk about quarterbacks needing to process the game. I don't think I've ever heard, and maybe you guys do, I'm sure, evaluating and scouting, but is there a corner that just has a processing speed that's different?
Well, yeah, you're calling it something I haven't called it before, but I identify with the thought. They see things. There's a play. They threw a quick screen on him on Spoon's side, and there's a big blocker coming out to him, and he attacks the blocker and then dips inside and gets in on the hit. That most guys won't do that. You're supposed to contain, keep your leverage, and keep your outside arm free in that play, but he didn't do that. He was able to manipulate the blocker to position himself and still contain the play. Lofa Tatupu was one of those guys. He was a great player in the way that he could manage his way to fit into plays and set blockers up to finesse them into ways that he could make the tackle in amazing fashion. And so it is. There's a processing that they can see the stuff, and then they take advantage of that. They can see it and they trust it, and then they have this magnificent willingness to go for it. And that's what makes him the player that he is.
How have you felt Jaron Reed?
Wow.
In his return.
Wow, what a game he had yesterday.
Was he better yesterday than almost at any point?
That's the best game I've ever seen him play. It was the best game ever. And he he only practiced on Friday, I think it was, last week. He has a major groin injury. I mean, legit, it's on the MRI, the whole thing. He said, I'm playing. And he just played right through it. It's not like, I feel a groin. It's MRI validated and all that. It's legit. Second-degree strain, and he just went ahead and played football and played the best game he's played, run and pass. And he was a factor in pass rush a number of times, not just the sack and a half that he had, and then he penetrated on the running game a couple times, took advantage of the fits and stuff like that. And he's a marvelous revisit addition to this team. It's great that he's back.
He had all them old heads there, Salt. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
that's true.
You see him try to do the dance. He tried to do
Mike Bennett.
the Mike Bennett, the me-bane thing. He couldn't pull it off. He wasn't even close.
I thought that's very neat.
But the thought was there. It was a nice thought.
Brock, I teased earlier that we would ask Pete about a person that I don't think we've ever asked him about before, but he certainly deserves a lot of credit, so I'll give you the question.
Well, at one point yesterday, Pete, you had 80% of a new offensive line out there from week one. You had four guys out there, but only Evan was the only one left standing, and yet Andy Dickerson's crew just does not flinch. Can you talk about Coach Dickerson and the influence he's had on that whole room? So no matter who goes down, next man up, and not just next man up, they just play as if there's no difference.
Yeah, I thought it was a great illustration last week, and even more so this week. To come back again this week, and remember, Brian Burns was a pretty darn good player out there. We didn't even hardly see him. He already was a factor. And the kid last week, top pick in the draft or something, those guys didn't even factor into the game. And so, but where you're going is a great place because the uniformity of our play, regardless of who's in there, that's pretty freaking special now. And Anthony Bradford, we see him as a talent. He's a brute, and you watch the film now. There's 4 or 5 plays in there like he's done every time he's been in the game. He mauls guys, and he did it again. And he's barely learning what he's doing, but for those guys to pull that off, we were on the sidelines. We were switch-o-change-o for a second or two there, how we were going to put our guys back in the game. Leaving Evan at center is really important. He is really doing a good job. He kind of keeps it all together. So Andy's got a great connection to Evan, to the field, and he and Khalil, they're putting together a fine group, and this is a really good illustration of it again in 2 weeks in a row.
When they run the ball, they get some pretty interesting dudes running the ball behind them. Mm-hmm. Top 2 running backs, talking about Walker and Charbonnet. What makes each of them successful? Almost a compare and contrast question. Why?
They're way different.
Right.
Much,
so what allows
different.
Each of them to be successful?
Kenny has, let's go back to what Brock was talking about, the feel. He can make things happen with his legs because of the awareness he has, and then this marvelous elusiveness that he has. Put his foot in the ground and jump 3-4 yards to the left or the right. That it's really rare. He's a rare athlete in that regard, and he's tough, and he's aggressive, and the creativity just shows up. Zach is a whole different style, man. He is more of a throwback. He is coming downhill at you. He stomps through the holes and the line of scrimmage. He's looking for spaces, but he's looking for hits too. And the hit he had on the sideline, I don't know how Rapes called that one, but man, that was as good.
Funny you should ask. I'm so glad you led me to this.
Okay.
It's like we've done this before.
Appreciate it.
Here's Steve Rabel calling that exact play.
2nd down and 7 for Geno and company. The handoff to Charbonnet. He's going to go around the left side. Stiff arms a man, turns, first down. Oh, my goodness! What a blast!
There you go.
One of the defenders stays on the ground. I think it's Deion Jones. Down at the 2-yard line, Charbonnet hit him like a bus and knocked him out of bounds. And he was stepping out as well with Charbonnet. Oh, my gosh, no, he hit the defensive back on the play and just knocked him out of the back of the end zone. Holy catfish.
Oh, he got thrown out of the club.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, so they're just different styles, you know, and honestly, I keep going back. I harken back to the SC days, you know, when we had Lendale and Reggie. Those guys were like that, and they were totally different styles, and they had this, the Thunder Lightning thing was out there because that's what these two guys are like, and so it's a blast having. I love having different guys that have unique styles, as we've always talked about, and whoever's hot's gonna play, you know. And did you guys see the moment when Kenny gestured to leave Zach in the game so he get a chance to get the touchdown, and we threw the ball to freaking Bobo? You know, he didn't get a chance to run it.
Well, we'll get to Bobo eventually.
Yeah, but the point that he recognized that he had earned his way down there and wanted to give him the love, and we were starting to sub, and he wanted Zach to stand. I thought that was a great moment.
It dawns on me. I was looking it up last night that Charbonnet's height, weight, and combine numbers are almost identical to Chris Carson's, and they're not exactly, but they are very, very close.
The impact of the way they run is similar.
It seems kind of similar, right?
Different, yeah, different styles still. If you splitting hairs here, but the factor and the style of the run and the impact on the game in the sidelines and our guys, they're looking for it. So anytime this is coming, Zach ain't going to pass one up. He gets another shot. He's going to light up the sidelines again. It just fits. It fits so well with how we'd like to play the game, and it was great to see that yesterday.
We do these takeaways on Mondays, and Salk and I had the same one about Boye Mafe. He was the best player on the field all preseason. Every game, it felt like Boye Mafe, Boye Mafe, Boye Mafe. The stat sheet yesterday showed what, Salk? 1 tackle?
1 tackle, 1 sack. That was the day.
1 tackle, 1 sack. It felt like so much more than that. Is there pressures that you look at? Is there a quarterback off the spot?
I think he had 5. I think he had 5 pressures, 5 or 6. Mario Edwards had 6, and I think he might have had 5 or 6 as well. So he did have impact in the game. You're right, and those pressures are, they don't really fit into the great stats, but they're really impacting. And so Boye is doing great, and we missed him, and love having him back out there, and he's going to be a big positive for us.
More Bobo?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, I guess we do have the sound of it. I didn't even think of that. Justin, do we have the Bobo touchdown as well? All right, let's hear that.
There you go, Justin.
On 2nd down and goal now from the 5. Play fake. Geno's going to throw back of the end zone, reaching up, making the catch. Is it a touchdown? It is a
They wouldn't tell you. I know, Ray. I hear you.
Seahawks.
I think.
We're still waiting. Yes! Touchdown, Seahawks! Jake Bobo, a high throw, back line of the end zone. It took the official forever. And he dragged that toenail in from 5 yards, his first career touchdown. Jake Bobo in the back of the end zone. Congratulations, the rookie free agent out of UCLA.
Pete, he's not supposed to be that good. Like, it's not supposed to work out that way for guys who run like he does at that position.
He's an unusual player now. And don't sell him short now. He can do a lot of stuff, and we're really fired up about it. We know. We're not able to see it yet. We haven't seen as much impact as he'll have, but everybody on our team knows. We've just seen him enough, and he's done so well in practice. I think Chip Kelly put out the thought that he's the best practice player he ever saw, and he's shown a lot of stuff about that. And so, anyway, we know what we got, and we love having him. And it was a great play, it was a beautiful job, great throw and catch call, the whole thing. Shane was in on that. It was beautiful.
Pete, tell me which metric you're enjoying the most 3 weeks in. I know it's only 3, and it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But
You know what I'm going to say.
fifth in the league in scoring offense. Let's see, 7th in the league in rush D, but 3rd in the league, 2.9 yards per rush attempt.
Yeah, this is an early season accomplishment that is going to, I hope, be really meaningful. It starts somewhere, and to build a great defense, it's got to start somewhere, and the best place for it to start is inside, in the middle, inside out, and that's where we are right now. And so we're off to a fantastic start. I go back again. I think probably last week too. Remember, preseason was the same, so we're there, and so now we need to keep working at it and keep polishing it up, and that is a factor that we need to stay on top of. And so. But really, okay, so that's my favorite stat so far. But I love all of the stats on there. We have a lot of stats on offense now. Scoring down there, I think we're 100% of the time we're in the red zone we scored. I know they're not touchdowns, and we're all frustrated by that. Good reason. But last year, I think we were 95% of the time we were in the red zone we scored, and that was like 2nd or 3rd in the league. That, along with the explosions, that's defining how we're building this team together, and those are really good numbers for us, and we need to keep going. Jay Mai had a great game yesterday. We hitting 7 times, out of 7. Coming back from his other little deal, he was on fire. That's a huge factor for us moving forward. Mikey didn't have to punt, 2 times or something like that. That's great. So those are the kind of the factors in behind maybe the scenes a little bit that we can really build on and count on. And all in all, though, guys, you didn't ask me yet, but I'm on a roll here. The thing that I'm most fired up about is finishing. And 25 points in the second half for the offense. Awesome. And we didn't help them with any turnovers or anything like that, but 25 points in the second half to finish that thing off and be ahead and out in charge. We were behind at halftime. That's a great asset to us moving forward, and we got to carry it again another week. But that's such a big factor to play all the way through the minutes that they allow you to play, and guys got that in their heart a little bit now.
I want to make sure we get to this. This could take 10 minutes here because I want to run through just a few of the injuries. And
the players aren't coming in today.
The list is so long that I just want to make sure we get through some of this. Are we going to see Jamal this week?
Jamal is back.
He's playing this week.
Yeah, well, you got to make it through the week,
yeah.
But he's ready to go. And he is so ready. He is as jacked up and excited a player as he is. We just got to keep him calm down, and I've already started talking to him about that so that he doesn't lose his brains because he's so fired up to play.
Charles Cross, I heard you say yesterday there's a possibility. Does he still have a job based on how well Forsyth has played?
He's competing. The competition is on. Stone has done everything he could to show him that the Wally Pipp story has got a reason. We know that background there. So we'll see what Charles has a really good chance to come back. Yeah. Tariq has a really good chance to be back. Disley has a good chance to be back.
Phil Haynes.
Yes, Phil Haynes. Phil practiced on Thursday or Friday. It wasn't. He was really close then, so he should make it back.
Kobe Bryant's
saying he's going to make it back. Yeah.
All right. And who am I missing? Trey Brown. How's he doing today?
I don't. He had a legit concussion, so he's got to go through the protocol and see if he can make it.
And Darrell Taylor with a shin.
Yeah, that one is just going to be day to day because he got kicked in the shin.
Okay. I think that's it. If I've missed anybody, please let me know.
Good accounting, though. There's a lot of guys.
It's a lot of guys. I mean,
Rabel. Is Rabel okay?
Is Rabes okay? You guys don't usually want the week 5 bye, but in this case, it might be pretty good thing.
Let's go take care of business and have a great week and get this game, and then that bye would be really well timed for us. Let's not miss this one. Diggs couldn't practice, okay, but he said he was going to play. He thought he could do it. He did, played the whole game and came out of it great. Julian Love got a little bit of work on Friday and said, I think I got it, and he was back. Did not practice Wednesday, Thursday. Great job of staying through the game. DK got freaking hammered the week before, stuck it out, practiced on Friday, looked good, made it through the game apparently. We'll see when we see him tomorrow.
Did you hear his line about that yesterday?
No.
They asked DK about how he was doing, and he's like, I don't know, go ask the other guy. He's the one who's still out.
Perfect. Good for him.
All right.
Yeah, and then there was who else was there?
Well, you mentioned Jaron Reed as well.
Jay Reed said he was going to play the whole time. Got a little bit of work on Friday. Just marvelous illustrations of guys wanting to play and be part of their team.
Last thing, I know we got to run here quickly, but Jamal Adams is going to play for the first time in a while. What does that look like on a football field?
In New York.
Yeah, I mean, how do you use him at this point? What will that look like?
Really well, man. We're gonna.
Oh,
use
you're
him
going to use
really
him.
well.
Oh, it's back. We're back to that. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for leading.
Okay.
No, we've got a whole plan. We've been working it the whole time, and the process has been underway for how he fits in. Let it be a surprise, okay? So we can see where he's coming from.
All right. Well, I was planning to just tell the Giants about it.
I know.
but
That's exactly where you were going with this.
Hey, Pete, what do you think about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce?
Oh man, well I happen to really like Taylor Swift. My whole family, all the girls in the family, grandkids and all, and the moms, all went and saw her, and so it was a big build up. They came to town for the event, so I kind of got Swiftied into it a little bit. So I was fired up to see her up in the in the booth and all that.
You ever have 70 scored on you?
No, that was
unique.
Yeah, that was.
You don't
really,
see that every day.
Really difficult. Really difficult.
At some point, I will ask you.
Of course, it's a heated press conference. What the frick?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I know you said last week that you've got a whole plan for how you bounce back after losses. Mm-hmm. Bouncing back after giving up 70 would be a huge challenge. Yeah. All right, Monday Night Football next week.
Let's go.
In New York against the Giants. We'll talk to you on Tuesday. Thank you.
Prime time. We'll be there.
All right, there you go. There's Coach Carroll. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.